Hello, this is Paul Gilbert with Guitare Magazine, getting ready to rock.
Ok, bonjour à tous et bienvenue pour cette nouvelle rubrique Guitare Xtreme School, aujourd'hui exceptionnelle avec Paul Gilbert. Okay, could you show me few licks, the most important things to work for a beginner?
Yes. Okay.
Show me.
The most important thing for a beginner is it's a guitar, and a guitar has 6 strings, which is challenging.
Yes.
Because if you're playing one string, like this one, the other ones can be really noisy.
Absolutely.
And so you have to learn to mute as well as playing.
Yes.
And there's a lot of different ways to mute, and I'm going to show you some of those.
Okay.
So the first thing I want to do is let's take this finger, the 3rd finger. We're going to play an A note right there on the 7th fret. And what I want to do is I want to play all 6 strings. But we only hear one note. So somehow this hand is controlling the other notes. So it's not going.
Have you got a special exercise to work that?
Well, listening. You have to play it and listen, and then let me show you the parts of the hand that are making that happen. First of all, the thumb, and a classical guitar teacher will tell you don't use the thumb. But I'm a rock guitar teacher, so I'm telling you, you have to use the thumb, because the thumb keeps that bottom string, and sometimes even both of those from ringing out. You can even pick them, and they don't, it stops them. So the thumb is very important. Also, this part of your hand is very important to mute those. And also the tip of your finger, like you can watch, I'm playing this note, but the tip of my finger right here is touching the string above it. So that doesn't, you can see the difference. If I don't touch it. Now, these might not seem like such exciting rock and roll things, but this is so important. And so many of my students, even the advanced ones, have never done this, and it just ruins their playing. It makes it terrible. So you got to have this from the start. And it's not hard, but you have to make it into a habit. And once you do that, all your playing is really clean. So that's what I'm doing. I'm using the thumb to mute out this one. I'm using the tip of this to mute out that one. This one's playing the note. And then these 3 are all being muted by this part of the hand. And then you can play everything. You don't have to be careful. You can just have fun, you know, and only hear the one note.
You have amazing, the biggest hands I've ever seen of my life. Could you?
Oh yeah.
It's really big.
Oh. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, but if you see any picture of any professional guitarist, from Jimi Hendrix, thumbs hanging over the top, Jimmy Page, even Angus Young. Angus Young has small hands, thumbs hanging over the top. All the pro rock guitar players do this, and it's really important. So now you know how to get the note. Let's make it musical. So the next thing we're going to do is the foot, and this is important at all levels. You got to get your left foot going. I recommend the left foot because the right foot makes your guitar bounce up and down. And if you can even use the whole leg and get that bouncing, then just go. Now, I want you to watch what my 3rd finger is doing there, because when I'm doing, I call it a chica. There, I'm muting all the strings, just using this part. Everything is muted, but then I have to get that single note. So I have changed between those 2 things. So really keep an eye on what's happening with my left hand, because the right hand is not changing anything. But it's funny, my left hand is actually kind of bouncing, because I'm strumming so hard as it's like moving it. You wouldn't believe how many rock guitar players can't do that. It's not hard, you just have to practice it a little bit. Now the next thing to do is to start working on syncopations, because there I'm doing down strokes, like down, right with the foot. But we want to start playing like a drummer. We want to be able to go like da, 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 da. So if we go like 1, 2, 3, 4. takes a lot of technique to do that. I have to keep moving between the mute and the note and the mute and the note. So that's a challenging one, actually. Maybe I'll do a little simpler one. We'll go like, that's good. And notice I'm going down, up, up, down, up, up. If you can do that, your playing will improve so much. That's just a huge thing I've discovered. So really important.
Can we talk about the intermediate?
Yes.
Yes. Could you show me a few blues licks on perhaps between major and minor blues scale?
Mm-hmm. Well, any blues lick is going to have some bending in it.
Yeah.
And or vibrato. And to have a good sound for rock or blues vibrato, I want to show you the left hand position. Yeah. I think that's really important. Yeah. And again, I teach a lot, and I see a lot of people doing it kind of the wrong way. And I want to show you what I think is the right way. I think it's really important to have this part of your hand connected to the bottom of the neck. And again, any classical teacher will go like, oh, that's wrong, you can't do it. I'm not a classical teacher, I'm a rock teacher. You got to have that there, and the reason you have to have that there is you use it so your wrist, can't see it, your wrist moves like that, or like that, and then you can bend the string. So I'm not going like a classical player is more like underneath, and it's really hard to bend like that, and some people manage to do it with their fingers like that. It just never sounds any good. You have to have this part of your hand connected. That's the secret. Now there are guys like Eric Clapton who will sometimes do a very light vibrato, like kind of like that. And actually, that sounds pretty good with a single finger. But it's not bent. He's not going, or maybe he is, but that's pretty tough. It'd probably be easier to go with a bunch of fingers. Anyway, I'm getting too complicated. Let's do this. Let's take, let's see. The important thing is to know which notes to bend. Now we know how to bend, but where do we bend? What notes? And I think a good way to do it is to aim for the chord tones.
Yes.
And the chord tones are the root, the third, the fifth, and the seventh. So what do those sound like? Here's the root in A, the third, the fifth, and the seventh. So if we bend to those, and we can keep going up in octaves. or even low. So you have to know where those are, and it takes a while because first you have to find the note. Like for example, here's the root, but you have to go below it in order to bend up. So you have to, it's sort of a two-step thinking process. You know, to find it, and then go below it, and then bend up. And the third, here's the third. Every guitar player knows that one, but you have to go below it to get up to it. The fifth, that's a common one, most common guitar bend. And but the third is such a powerful note, and guitar players usually don't play it. The reason they don't play it is they're so used to the pentatonic scale that they bend up to the fourth, which is a weak note, and then they resolve at the third. And that's not bad. But if you want to bend up to it and stay there, then the third is the good one. So again, let's get the foot involved. So if we go, let's see, what's a good rock tempo? And if we go, let me think of a way we can bend. Like, or, let me think a little more, I'll get a good one. I'll just sing, That's kind of good, going. And I think I left out the 7th there. But I'll do it without the singing so you can just hear the guitar. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, 1, 2, one more time. Oh, sorry. That's going to be so useful because now you know where to bend. Not every place is good to bend. There's some places, if you bend, so many people try to bend on the root. They'll go, and it's like, the root doesn't work so well unless you're playing, what is it? That's the one exception where you can bend the root.
Let's go to the advanced part.
Yeah.
On your last album, Vibrato, there are many new chords and new chords progression and new chords change. And how could you explain how would you go on that?
Yeah. Well, I think the chords that I've discovered, a lot of them I've discovered through the blues. Your basic blues has dominant chords. And it's funny, I never knew a dominant chord until I went to school. Because I grew up listening to heavy metal, so all the chords I knew were just, roots and fifths. And finally I went to school and I learned, how to play a dominant chord, or a dominant 9, or a dominant sharp 9, or what was like a sharp 5 on there. So is that a sharp 5? That's from E to, yeah, it would be from E to C or E, B sharp. So basically, the way to think about this is just in terms of intervals.
Yes.
Whatever intervals the chord has, you can play the same intervals for the solo. Yes. So if you have, for example, if you're playing an A blues, when you hit that 4 chord, there's how many notes in this chord? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's the root, the 3rd, let's see, there's the 5th, the 7th, and the 9th. And they're all spread out in the chord, but you can play them individually as an arpeggio. It should be like, let's see. Or, but let me just show you some of my favorite shapes that work with this, because that's sort of a crazy one. The way I like to think about it is with a very simple shape in octaves. So for example, if we have this chord, maybe I will play the 9th, the 3rd, the 5th, and the 7th. And then I can play the same thing an octave higher, and the same thing an octave higher. Now, of course, now you have to put rhythm in it, or you have to come up with some kind of way to connect them. And that's challenging, because you have to do these big position jumps. I'll do it slow. A lot of hammer-ons, make it easier. I'm not picking every note. But that's a nice sound over that. And then over this one, that's also only got 5 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I made a scale using that same kind of idea. So that's slowly. And we could do this similar kind of pattern. Or so I'm going really quickly through these. I'm sorry about that. But let me show you one other thing you can do with that. Let's see. This is, of course, like a 5 chord in A. So. It'll diminish. Maybe down to the 6th chord. So, this is really new stuff for me. I'm usually a rock guy, but I'm finally figuring out some of these things. But it's the only way that I can think about it is in intervals. Okay. I just match the intervals to the chord. So whatever the chord is, I try to find the same thing. I'm gonna just play. I'm gonna just play a blues. So I'll pick the key of. Let's see. I'm playing F. F is a very challenging guitar key, and we've been playing this Albert King song. It goes 1, a 2, a 3.
Thank you very much.
Ah, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Use the foot.
Yes. And just want to show, je vais juste montrer le tout petit ampli en fait, d'où le son sort en fait. Voilà.
9 volts of power.
Yes. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.